Khobe Clarke, great to see you again, man. Welcome back to Pop Alternative.
Dude, PD Beats, great to see you again, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course, we can finally chat about some things because Off Campus is now streaming on Prime Video,
It's on Prime
season
Video.
one,
Yeah,
which
stay
is
home from school, skip work, go watch Off Campus on Prime Video.
it's interesting. I feel like anyone that was, cast in this series was in a unique casting situation because there's familiar territory and unfamiliar territory at the same time. Because we
Right.
know these characters from the books, but we've never seen them in a live action capacity. Was that going through your mind when you were cast for this?
Ah, man, I missed your enthusiasm, dude. I didn't even hear your question. Sorry, I'm enamored by your joy right now. Sorry, the unfamiliar, the
No, all good. No, no, just like it was cool because it's like, it's a unique casting situation because you don't know, like we've never seen Beau in a
right,
live action series before, right? So
right.
did it feel like a unique kind of casting situation?
Yeah, I guess the audition process was very interesting. I mean, I think none of us knew how popular these books were prior to, I had no idea really until I was announced, and then you kind of get the love flood, maybe that's what I'll call it, of
Yeah.
people. So I guess, and more so for the five leads than me, but really just feeling the love that people have for these characters in the books, and then maybe there's a little pressure. I can imagine the others were feeling like, oh shit, like we have to,
It's go
people
time.
really have an idea of what these people need to be, and you want to bring your own take to it, but also honor why people love this story and the characters so much. Yeah.
They're not, that is always that kind of ping pong match, that tug of war with
Hmm.
adapted source material, man.
For
Like
sure,
it's
man.
it's not the books, it's the live action Prime series, right?
Yeah,
So very interesting. There could be a whole podcast series on that, man. Like there probably is, the people that look at like
probably.
the book
Yeah.
versus the series or book versus movie. I'm sure there are like podcasts that just do that.
Yeah, I mean, this has happened to actors and filmmakers and TV show creators for a long time. There's so
Yeah.
many book adaptations that you want to really honor what made that book so special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Do you feel like working on Cruel Intentions prepared you for that kind of like adaptation to series kind of journey?
Maybe. You know what's funny? The cruel intentions and the off-campus situation are the same for me because Scott in Cruel Intentions and Beau in Off Campus are were expanded for the show.
Yeah.
Right. So like the original source material kind of had them in a kind of smaller place. And
Mhm.
then the new versions kind of expanded on the characters. So I'm lucky where I didn't feel like I had to really pay too close attention to the characteristics that Scott and Beau had in the original stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's usually kind of a two-headed monster when you get these scripts and then you actually get like you get these scripts and then you, like for a TV or a movie and then you get there and you see everything come to life. You can kind of picture as much as you can in your head when you're prepping, but it really gets real when you get there. This is a triple like a three-headed monster, right? Because you have the
Right.
book to script to screen. What is that like for you specifically?
Well, yeah, I read the script. I read the script a year and a half ago. And I
Mhm.
I remember seeing some of like the musical stuff and the kind of the things they were going to do in the show and reading them in the script and thought like it was super ambitious and it was going to be hard to act and maybe difficult to like make look good. I just
Yeah.
from my limited imagination, I was being so small-minded, I was like, well, how are people going to do this part? But when I watched the first two episodes, I just really admire their ability to, yeah, like you said, take it from the book to the script and then take this big idea they had in the script and make it so like viable in the show. And the acting, like Belle and Ella did a really good job with. I really believe them, through the whole
Yeah.
thing. I believe them.
100%. You're fantastic in this show, man. I just want to say
Thank you,
you
PD.
and Steven, the
Yeah.
whole Dean Bo. I mean, what was that? So, I mean, that's so important, right? For like in the books, right? Like that friendship and everything.
Yeah.
So, were there any specific conversations with Steven in regards to that before kind of diving in?
Stephen Kalen is such a good question asker, and he's a really, really good listener. So I don't think Steven and I talked about Beau and Dean specifically, but like we would just sit there in the green room all together, and usually it was Steven like leading the charge and all these really like great conversations. And
Yeah.
him and I mean, we were friends prior to doing the show, so and
Mhm.
I admire Steven a lot. So just being his friend and getting to know him and having fun. Like the main focus for him and I was to have fun, and I didn't feel like we struggled with that.
Yeah, no,
It was
absolutely.
a lot
No,
of, it was just a lot of fun.
for sure. Well, it looked like a lot of fun. Like everyone hanging. It was great. Like I talked to, Jalen and Mika about this. Everyone was
Yeah.
just like it just hit it off on set, which is the
So rare,
best.
man.
Yeah.
So rare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm really excited to ask you this actually, because it's interesting when you watch a movie or a show that involves like it's like has music in it or has a sport in it, like a show about sports or a show about music, right? Because you can always look at it two ways. You can look at it as like, oh, this is a rom-com that has music in it, right? Or this is like a sports show that has kind of moments where it's like a horror movie or stuff like that.
Right.
Obviously, with this, a lot of people argue that like the relationships are what's kind of the focal point and what people focus on, the rom-com perspective, right? But
Yes.
where do you see hockey in this show? Like there's some times when you're making this show where it's like off campus is a hockey show that has,
Yeah.
the romantic comedy, or is it always like, hockey's just kind of a tool, a vehicle? It's interesting to think about.
It is totally, and it's a great question. I mean, I think if you make a hockey show that has a relationship in it, maybe sometimes you can focus really hard on the hockey and then lose the truthfulness in the relationship,
Mhm.
and then vice versa. But I think, I mean, this show is about relationships and it's about family trauma and it's about music and hockey. So I think they all play a good size character. Like they don't compete with each other,
Mhm.
which I imagine was really difficult to balance out. And all of it feels like the right amount. It is a relationship story at the end of the day, but when you watch the hockey stuff, suddenly you're kind of sucked into this world where you're enjoying these characters playing hockey. And then similarly to the music, and like Ella and Josh are so like they were so good. Again, I'll just like bring it back to them being believable. Like I really believed Josh being in After Hours, and I believed Ella in her character in this musical program. Like there was just a lot of talent and commitment.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
find that interesting too, because that's going to come out a lot more now, a lot about the music, but I feel like people just focused and like thought about the hockey, right? Like when they saw the
Yeah.
trailers and like the team and everything, but like now that the show is out, there's going to be a lot of conversations about the music component of it too and the soundtracks and everything.
Dude, the music is aw. They really the music team knocked it out of the park.
Dude,
And
that's
the
a
hockey, man. Hockey is such a hard sport
Mhm,
to play. And
mhm.
the core four fellas were doing hockey camp and getting into gear on their off days and really trying to, taking power skating lessons. And it's an impossible sport to shoot. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
They did a really
I
good job.
I find it really interesting as well because I know from an acting perspective, while you're making something, while you're in production for off campus, you're not kind of like constantly, making an effort to think about the audience. That's a lot of things you do afterwards because you're in the zone, you're trying to kind of be present for your character. But I find it fascinating just in general about the audience these days, right? Because there's so many different ways we watch things, right? There's so many different like in terms of like I could watch something on my phone, I could watch something on my TV, I could go to a movie, right? There are shows that I can watch all of them in one sitting. There are shows week to week. You've been on a show like Firefly Lane, boom, it all drops on Netflix. You've been on a show like Yellow Jackets, week to week kind of suspense. Are you
Mm.
thinking about the audience a lot more in your storytelling kind of career? Because it's fascinating about like when people watch things, how people watch things. It's interesting.
Yeah, I maybe am concerned with how like we've come to consume things. Like obviously the creators of the show want you to sit in a dark room on the biggest screen in your house, and
Yep.
we there's so much work into the detail in everything being made, and I
Yeah.
think the creators want you to they want you to go to the movie theater, like watch my piece of art on the biggest screen you can, or sit at
Yep.
your house and really lock into the show. And I think I fear that we've lost that I think maybe it's like
Yeah,
an
I think
attention
also like
span thing.
clips, right? Like the clip culture of
Clip
just like,
culture is crazy. Well,
yeah.
yeah, it's weird because it also helps your show get eyes on it.
I mean, it's funny to
So
think about the fact that verticals, right? Like the vertical dramas, they are clips. Like it's clips.
yeah, the vertical dramas. I know
No, but it's actually funny how like people are like, it's like you think about it when you really break it down, they're clips. It's clip culture.
it is, yeah, and it's a completely new world we're
Yeah.
in, and culture moves so fast. So
Yeah.
what's in today is not tomorrow, and the creatives, I think I would have a tough time keeping track of that. So
Oh man, there's a lot of trends too. I remember during the pandemic, like everyone was playing like Among Us. Do you
sure,
remember
man,
Among
yeah,
Us?
everything is 15 days. It's
And then
like
like yeah, I also feel like I always find it interesting too of like when Fortnite was super big and like it's still
sure,
around, but like not even or like Pokemon Go felt
yeah.
like 15 minutes.
Right. I know.
You know?
Yeah. 15 minutes, not 15 days. Exactly. Everything feels like 15 minutes. So I'm making something that isn't going to fall into that trap. I can imagine
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard. And there's no
Absolutely.
equation. There's no there's
Yeah.
no Pythagorean theorem to make your thing a hit.
All right, Mr. Clark, we're actually going to get to the question that I think everyone really wants to hear about this about in this interview.
Okay.
Clearly, these in the books, right? Anything could happen, right? Like these are, it's like, the show is gonna kind of do what the books do. Maybe it won't do, but like anything can happen, right? But in the books, we know what happens to characters in the books, right?
Yep.
And I'm just wondering for this whole process, how have you been kind of thinking about that or not thinking about that, so to speak, while you were cast?
I mean, what happens to Beau in the books is a huge pivotal moment for Dean and Allie's relationship and
Hmm.
the boys' relationship. I think it's kind of the biggest moments of grief. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I did think about it, but it didn't like influence my Gina and Louisa were basically like be the nicest, bestest friend you can be.
Yeah.
And because Beau dies, we don't have to do
Yeah.
there's no downfall of Beau. He's just a really great guy until he dies, or he doesn't. I have no idea what happens, but
Yeah.
um
No, no, but that's fair. Is that
yeah.
like a misconception? Do you think that people think that we all like everyone knows what's going on all the time? Like, do you think that's is that?
The fans of these books, I feel like they know what's going on all the time. But yeah, yeah, I have no idea what's going on at any of the time. So I think it differs. But the fans of these books, they're on it, man. They're
Yeah,
they're on it.
absolutely. There were like fan accounts before the season was
I know.
it was yeah, no, it was crazy. I think
Yeah.
it's interesting too to think about like that this world we live in right now where I also feel like the authors of these books are also looking at like
Hmm.
they become a show and it's like okay there's more things that could become a show like you know what I mean like I'm wondering if people are looking
Yeah.
at like past catalogs of these authors now
Yeah,
you know
maybe.
what I mean?
Dude, that is so, yeah. That's so fat. Try and talk to Elle. She's painfully humble about
Mhm.
this whole experience, but I
Yeah.
just really would like to get her a grasp on having her imagination materialized into this TV show, like something
Mhm.
she like broke ground on, over 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Just like, yeah, amazing. I mean, authors, yeah, they're really the core, they're the start of the story of all stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it more fun or challenging to play lost characters doing soul searching self-reflection because from the viewer perspective they don't know they're lost.
Good question. Harder than what?
Like, is it like, do you find it challenging to play like characters figuring things out? Because it's
Yeah,
an interesting question because it's like people life is like we're all lost in a lot of
for
ways, right? And the
sure.
viewers watching this and some of the characters don't know they're lost, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you said it. I don't think they're a character that's not lost in some way is not a very interesting character. So
Hmm.
I think, yeah, you either know you're lost and you're soul searching, or you don't know you're lost and you're gonna figure it out during the story anyways. So
Hmm.
I think knowing which one of those you are is important. But I wouldn't say it's harder. It's just maybe you have to understand it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then last question, the episodes have dropped and everything. And what are you like really hoping people take away from season one of off campus, right? Given that it's been such a big kind of wait, people were so excited.
Yeah.
Like, what do you really hope they get out of it once they watch these episodes of Prime Video?
I hope they get some wholesome entertainment, some laughs, some maybe some tears, maybe some I don't know, just to escape from the world for a second, and if we can accomplish that, then I think that's great. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
episodes are, on Prime Video now for season one of Off Campus. They can catch you as Beau Maxwell. Kobe, as always, great chatting
Dude,
with you, man. Thank you so much for your
man,
time.
your enthusiasm is it's magnetic, man. Never change, PD Beats. I really appreciate
No,
you
I really
talking to me.
appreciate you saying that. Your Instagram account is just your name, and people want to keep up to date with everything.
Yeah, it's just my name. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this has been Popturnative, youtube.com/Popturnative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Khobe Clarke and PD Beats signing
PD
off.
Beats.
Thank you for tuning in to Popturnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popturnative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.